Hello, welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you're watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got a breaking news report coming out regarding China. And last week we had a story that China was allegedly open to deploying peacekeeping troops into Ukraine if we happen to get a ceasefire deal reached between Ukraine and Russia. Now, all of a sudden, I've got a major report just breaking today. As you can see here on your screen, China's foreign ministry denies reports of peacekeepers to Ukraine. China has swiftly denied a German newspaper outlet, Die Welt, reports that said it was considering a peacekeeping role in Ukraine once Russia's war comes to an end. China remains neutral to the war. Okay, that was allegedly brought out today by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson Guo Jiakun, if I'm saying his name right. Kind of hard to pronounce. But apparently, he came out today holding a press conference and stated that China denies all plans to send peacekeepers to Ukraine. Okay. And allegedly, these stories that were coming out, that were originally coming out on German media at the time, allegedly they're not true, according to the Chinese Foreign Ministry. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys this report real quick. We'll go over this. Looks like we're not going to have Chinese troops going into Ukraine if we get a ceasefire. So this is on Politico today. China trashes reports it would put peacekeeping troops in Ukraine. Beijing maintains close ties with Moscow. Okay, so this just coming out today, March 24th, 2025. The Chinese Foreign Ministry on Monday denied reports that Beijing could join a potential peacekeeping mission in Ukraine spearheaded by EU leaders. I would like to emphasize that the reports in question are completely untrue, and China's position on the Ukraine crisis is consistent and clear, said the Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Guo Jiakun in response to a journalist's question on the matter. China claims to be a neutral party in Russia's war in Ukraine, but maintains close economic and political ties with Moscow, including by supplying dual use goods like body armor or drones. According to German outlet Welt, which originally reported the story Saturday, anonymous Brussels diplomatic sources said that China's participation could potentially increase Russia's acceptance of peacekeeping forces in Ukraine. So this is what we heard last week. We were hearing that if China were to happen to join this peacekeeping mission, let's say Chinese troops got deployed and maybe not NATO troops, this could potentially make Vladimir Putin come to the table and all of a sudden say, okay, well, they're not NATO troops. We'd prefer to have Chinese troops in there instead of NATO troops because we know that Russian President Vladimir Putin is not okay with NATO troops being deployed over there. So it looks like this is not going to be the case, and I'm curious how they're going to sort this out. So finally, it says right here, while Russian President Vladimir Putin has totally rejected the idea of troops from NATO countries being stationed in Ukraine, the participation of Beijing in the mission could bolster the prospects for a successful peacekeeping effort. The peacekeeping mission, being pushed by a coalition of the willing, is an initiative of Britain and France aiming to unite allied European governments to protect Ukraine after any peace deal is reached. Canada and Turkey could also join the group. Okay, so yeah, we have been hearing that recently that Canada and Turkey are open to doing so, but Turkey's part of NATO, so is Canada. So obviously that's going to be a huge problem there. So yeah, I'm very curious how they're gonna work this out. As China being deployed into Ukraine, assuming that Ukraine is open to that, could have possibly been a solution to end this war sooner if Russian President Vladimir Putin is not okay with having NATO being deployed into Ukraine. So we'll have to see what happens with the whole coalition of the willing now, because Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister of Britain, and also the President of France, Emmanuel Macron, are both kind of leading that coalition, trying to get as many countries together as possible that are willing to deploy their troops into Ukraine as a peacekeeping force. But many of these countries are NATO members. So that's definitely going to be a difficult one to sort out. And we know right now there's ongoing talks in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia today. I believe the Russians were apparently holding over 10 hours of talks with the U.S. So it looks like those talks may not be going well, or maybe they just have a lot of information to discuss. We'll have to wait and see what happens here as we continue to get more information regarding a peacekeeping contingent for Ukraine. So I'll continue to monitor this story. And as soon as we get more updates regarding this, I'll let you guys know. Maybe China will flip flop on this later, and all of a sudden they might be open to deploying troops to Ukraine. But it looks like as of right now, they do want to remain a neutral party to the conflict. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section regarding this story. That's going to be it for today's update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.